Imagine this. You sit down, you open up your laptop to perform a vital task like sending an email, taking an online class, but as soon as you unlock your phone, you are bombarded with notifications. And before you notice it, you're scrolling through social media. Hours fly by like seconds, and you end up procrastinating again. You don't have to use much of your imagination, right? Because it's pretty much our daily story. It's a story of how distractions seem to rule our lives, and we all know how guilty and unproductive we feel because of it. Yet, it's really hard to control, and we seem to not be able to help ourselves. But don't worry, this multi-layered trap of distractions can be undone, and we can learn how to focus, just like with any other skill. But to do this, you have to understand the science behind focus, how you get addicted to distractions, and how we can overcome these many distractions and live a more fulfilled life. So first, why are we always distracted? Well, there's something known as the overstimulation dilemma. And with the invention of the internet, there was a revolution that was sparked, a revolution that promised us increased work efficiency, saving time. However, quite ironically, the very opposite has happened. Now with the internet, we are procrastinating more than ever, and we waste way more time. Well, let's do a small exercise. Let's check the screen time on your phone. You go to the settings and you type in screen time, or if you just can't find it, ask Dr. Google. So looking at your screen time, most of you likely have hours of social media usage. You might have an hour of Facebook, maybe an hour of Instagram, and yes, Netflix and Amazon Prime count also. So this exercise proves that we are hooked on these apps and often wasting more time than getting work done. How do these apps do it? Well, they offer us quick gratification with an endless stream of content, keeping us curious for more. They also trigger our innate need for connection by sending notifications and emails like someone commented on your post. You click on it out of curiosity, ending up in a vortex of social media content. Well, what's the science behind this? Well, our minds have a built-in reward system. It's like the dentist who gives you ice cream after they pull a tooth. Just like that, our brain releases dopamine to reward us. These apps are designed to trigger the release of dopamine quickly, overstimulating our minds so that we become addicted and quickly. This also includes what's known as the temptation trap. You've all sat down to study and you feel bored to death. So to help, you open up your phone again, you scroll through some social media, maybe all of your social media, and you do it in hopes to get kind of freshened up and rejuvenated, ready to study. But instead of finding motivation, the opposite happens. You lose even more interest in your task of studying. Well, have you ever thought about why that happens? It's dopamine. We crave dopamine, and social media taps into this need by offering us quick gratification and immediate release of dopamine. So we're easily tempted. And the mundane tasks, which offer much more delayed rewards, but no immediate dopamine, like studying, seem even more difficult than they really ought to be. So how do you overcome these distractions? Well, the digital world is full of rabbit holes, ready to pull you into the whirlpool of distractions. But worry not, we can safely navigate the digital world to complete our important tasks. Previously, I shared some of the important tips that I use to safely navigate these areas, and these help me avoid distractions. I do this by using technology itself, like using extensions for customized feeds and simple airplane mode to disable notifications. Make sure to watch this video before proceeding if you haven't already. A link is right here. How do you stay focused? Well, I bet all of you have encountered a situation where you only have an hour and you're under tremendous pressure to complete a paper or a project before the deadline hits. What do? Well, you turn off your phone, you close your door, tell your family, do not disturb me for an hour, and you sit down and you write or you work without any distractions. And magically, all your energy is funneled into this work. Your mind is fixated on the task, and you end up with the best essay you've ever written, or you complete the project with flying colors. This is the flow state. It is a state of undisturbed focus, focused on a specific task and making the task feel effortless. Now, up until now, you might have encountered the flow state randomly, but we can actually achieve this condition on will whenever we need it. Let's explore how we can do this. Number one, overcome flow blockers. Take the first step towards flow by eliminating all the distractions, or as scientists call them, flow blockers. These are the factors which block us from getting into the flow state. Phone, noises, people interrupting, those are just a few of them. Number 2, make yourself more prone to enter flow state. Do this by using your own body's natural cycle to enter the flow state. While this might seem counterintuitive, research suggests that when we wake up, our brain transmits alpha theta brainwaves, similar to what's seen in the flow state. Therefore, in the morning is a perfect time and a perfect opportunity to tackle difficult things first thing in the morning. When I was researching for this video, for example, sometimes I struggled. So at night, I gave up, I went to sleep. But when I woke up the next morning, I was ready to go, prepared, and then I was able to do a day's work in just a few hours. This is due to the fact that the brain has a lower cognitive load first thing in the morning. Just like a computer, RAM has more processing power when you first start it up. Your mental battery may only have so much charge, so use it early in the morning. Next, have very clear goals about your task. Having clear goals is extremely important to achieving a flow state. It helps avoid the multitudes of distractions that can occur. It allows prioritization, and it keeps your work time streamlined. In addition, apps like Forest can really help in that. This is an awesome app that you can write a note about the task you want to perform, keeping you on track. Then, on your phone screen, you grow a tree. If you lose sight of your goal and you start scrolling on your phone, your tree dies. It seems a little bit simple and silly, but it's great fun, and it's a great way to remind you to keep on track and help you stay in flow. Next, it's important to challenge yourself. There's a Goldilocks zone for work. It has to be difficult enough to keep you interested, but not too difficult that you want to quit and stop altogether. And it can't be too easy, because then you just get bored. Research suggests that challenging yourself to a task that's about 4% more difficult than your current skill level is kind of a sweet spot to keep you in the game. You're challenged, but not discouraged. Another way to propel yourself into the flow state is to think about the nature of the flow state itself. It's not like an on and off switch. No. Research suggests that instead it's more like a fan switch, a dimmer, that you slowly rotate into the desired speed. Most people give up too early when they encounter a challenge. They'll be 10 minutes into a task and they're like, oh, too much, meaning they spend their entire life just giving up before achieving focus. They quit in what's called the struggle phase. You have to push past it. Keep trying the task for just 1 more minute. Every day, push into it, lean against the task. This will lengthen your attention span, and there will be a flow of neurotransmitters propelling you into the focused flow state. Now, when this happens, your prefrontal cortex temporarily shuts down, making you lose awareness and become deeply focused on your task. Now, after you've gotten into the flow state, what's really important is recovery. Like a computer processing at full speed, flow state consumes an enormous amount of energy. So you need to completely recover from the exertion. Now remember, relaxation does not equal recovery. For example, sitting down and binging on your favorite Netflix show is the exact opposite of what you should be doing to recover your energy. Research suggests that the best way to recover is when the parasympathetic nervous system is activated, reducing the stress hormones and re-energizing the body with hormones like dopamine needed for another cycle of exertion, hopefully in the flow state. So now I'm going to share with you some scientifically proven tips to help you recover the right way. Some of these are really simple and common sense. First, breathing. We must be thinking we all breathe all the time. For recovery though, you need to breathe properly, being very mindful of it. Breathing apps like Calm can really help you breathe the right way. This triggers our parasympathetic system to release hormones that replenish our body, ready for another work and flow cycle. Next, cold showers. Now, although it's counterintuitive and they don't sound very relaxing, research has suggested that cold showers actually trigger the release of norepinephrine, improve things like blood circulation, and speed recovery. Next is heat therapy. The mental exertion that we undergo is often translated into physical stress. It's why we feel physically tired even if we work on a laptop at home. Heat therapy, such as saunas, tends to relax our muscles, relieving stress, physical tension, and it makes us recover quicker. Exercise. It's an essential part of lifestyle, and just like fitness, it is truly important for re-energizing our body for another day's work. It helps us recover. Next is spending time in nature. The digital world entangles us so much. that we tend to overlook the importance of spending time in nature. Its relaxing effect is immense. Research suggests that even looking at the horizontal lines out in nature has a very soothing effect. Next is sleeping. It's not just a requirement, but it's practically a reset button, acting as a transition between days. It makes us forget yesterday's worry and hopeful for another day filled with energy. Next, meditation, a complex yet very important tool for recovery. Many people tend to overlook it because they simply find it difficult. I've done a detailed video on meditation and the power of mindfulness. Be sure to check it out. Now, a simple rule for more energetic and focused living is to not overwork yourself, but to oscillate like a pendulum between work and flow and recovery, constantly and consistently for a more successful life. So I leave you with these tips and a challenge. Practice these tips for a week and let me know what results they yield for you.